Welcome to the Music Ed Matters podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Emily Williams-Birch, and this podcast, it exists for you. Whether you're a music lover, an educator, a choir member, each week we bring guests to the show to help explore what matters in music. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to the show. Hello, and welcome to the Music Ed Matters podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Emmy Birch, and this is episode 189. In this episode, I'm going to share a full update on we made it a whole year with a brand new choir. Y'all, I still am on cloud nine. It is the first Monday of summer. It is almost a week removed since our final concert, and I still haven't come down from cloud nine, so I have a really special episode prepared for you today. This isn't just an update on all things university choir. This is oh my goodness, y'all, we get to do choir and music and singing and music education for a living. And if you have forgotten how exciting that is, man, do I have a treat for you today. So in today's episode, which is brought to you by our friends from Perform International, and yes, there's going to be some great episodes coming up this summer and fall from some people that I'm traveling with this summer as I go and represent Perform International at a few different trips. More on that, check my social media. It's going to be a blast. But for this episode, all about choir, I'm going to share some of the biggest takeaways from starting an ensemble and building community all the way to what the singers have to say. And why? Because I don't know about you, but I use the summer to refill my cup. I love that visual that we don't get to feed out of our souls of empty cups. And it's not even like you need to fill your cup so you can pour it out. I really believe that your cup needs to be running over if you want to serve your singers, your students, your musicians in a way that is sustainable. Now, I don't know about you, but I also just woke up from like a weekend of hibernation, because I gave so much energy during this quarter and I had nothing left and I just hibernated. But I feel much better now. I do want to continue working on being better at keeping my cup overflowing instead of depleting it all the way to the bottom. So maybe one day I won't hibernate after the quarter, but whatever. That's a different story. In this episode, I'm going to share a little bit about the forming of the choir, how we built community, how that played out in our final concert, and then the best part, coming up, a bunch of clips. Students were given the option to record clips that they wanted you to know. We went through who listens to Music Ed Matters podcast and what do you want them to know as singers of a non-audition university choir. So their messages are for you, whether you teach pre-kindergarten or you are also at the college level and everything in between, whether you are community or church, it doesn't matter. The messages from these singers are sure to be a lightning bolt that you need for this summer. So let's kick off this episode on, oh my goodness, we built a choir, y'all. I'm actually just a little bit nervous about what I'm sharing today. So right after the concert was on a Wednesday evening. Thursday morning on the drive to school, I felt so compelled to record a voice memo for you. And this was a voice memo to, I guess, like my old self from my futures. I don't know. I recorded this and I feel like someone might need to hear it. You can hear the excitement in my voice. It's kind of a lot, but here's what I want you to hear. Wherever you are right now, if you turn and look at where you came from, you can see how all the dots connect to get you to where you are right now. And don't they make the most beautiful path? Is it the most straight path? I hope not, because where's the adventure in that? But sometimes when you're in the middle of it, when you're planting the dots, it's hard to see, especially as we talk about our graduates graduating right now. Sometimes it's hard to see how all the dots are going to lead to where your dreams evolve or become or are realized. But I felt like I needed to record this message to myself, to the graduates, to you out there, that at some point when you pause and look behind you, every dot along the way has led you where you are right now, and where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. So before we dive into some awesomely recorded clips from people in the choir to just get you motivated about choir, I want to share this little audio message. It's really dirtily recorded because I recorded it on my phone, like I said, driving to work. But this is my motivational message for you for this summer, and I hope that you enjoy. Okay, I'm going to be vulnerable. Here we go. I never record voice memos for a podcast, but I feel like there's something on my mind and I have to share it. So this day, today, it is the last day of school of the 2024-2025 year. And I want to never forget this feeling. And I want to tell you about why it is so important. So rewind. It's 2010. I am graduating from Florida State with my master's degree. And y'all, I have the most vivid memories of being like, I don't know how old you are, like 22, 23, whatever, sitting in the corner of my little apartment in Tallahassee and sobbing to that Adele song, Chasing Pavements. I just have the most vivid memories because I had no idea what I was doing with my life. Like, I knew I wanted to teach music and I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I had no idea where I wanted to do this thing. Praise God, I found Savannah, Georgia. But like, at the time, I remember being in the moment. And I would come home from classes and I had all these jobs I was doing and whatever. But I just remember being, I don't think overwhelmed's the right word, but just excessively nervous for the future. And I wish I could go back to 2010 me and be like, tap, tap on the shoulder. Just keep going. It's going to be okay. And I did keep going. And it has been okay the whole time. But I just don't want to forget the feeling right now. Like, oh my gosh, it is 2025. It is 15 years later from this little girl sitting in the corner of her apartment crying because she didn't know what she was going to do with her life or what it was going to look like. I think I was just nervous of letting myself down. And like, 2010 me, you did not let yourself down. I just want to remember that feeling forever. And you know, whether you are in the corner just trying to figure out what you're doing with your life next, or maybe you're in a moment that's challenging, I think looking back over the last 15 years, in each individual moment, it kind of feels a little bit suffocating at times. Yes, there are super highs and there are some pretty bad lows, but every single one of those moments, every one of those little dots along the way, when I look back now, they've connected me to exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it's just crazy. So I have to tell you what happened. So last night we had this really big event at school called a night of vocals. And it was one of those things where one of my colleagues sent an email after we had a big concert last winter. And one of my colleagues, Liz, who is our head of vocal instruction, sent an email and said, hey, how do we feel about a collaborative concert at the end of the spring? And you know me, I'm all about a good collaboration. And it has led to some of the deepest, most amazing friendships that I've had at work, combined with some of the most musically rewarding things, not just for my students, but y'all, my voice is the strongest it's ever been in my whole lifetime, thanks to collaborating with Liz, who is a true vocal pedagogue. Oh, it's amazing. And you can hear the growth in the singers and don't even get me started. Anyway, so what is the point of this random, you're going with me to school today. We are driving to our last day of classes and I am recording this voice memo as we are driving there. I want to tell you, wherever you are in the journey, whether that's, I don't know what I'm doing next, but I'm just taking one step at a time, that's great. Whether you're in a moment where you're like, this isn't quite it. That's okay too. Y'all, I had those feelings so many times. Did I love teaching middle school? Yep. Was it hard? Absolutely. But was I where I was supposed to be at that time? Yes. And did I learn things from those moments that make me the person and the teacher I am today? Absolutely. Did I love my job at the K-8 school? Absolutely. It was such a dream job. But I also knew something deep down in my heart, deep down in my soul was like, this isn't it. And did I love when I traveled everywhere working as a curriculum specialist for Quaver Music back when it first got started. Did I love that? Oh my gosh, yes, it was such an adventure. Being a road warrior was fascinating, and getting to meet all those teachers along the way, those are lifelong friendships. But I also knew that wasn't it. And I just so want you to know, if you're still in your soul hungry for something, don't settle. Just don't settle. I didn't settle. And there were so many years of like, what am I doing? Is this the right direction? Is this the right path for me? And I just trusted. I trusted the doors that opened and the ones that closed, even if they hurt in the moment. I trusted, and I kept doing one foot forward at a time and being the best I could that day, the best I thought I could be that day or whatever. And so here we are now, 15 years after the little Emmy that was sitting in the corner, not sure what she was going to do. And y'all, I just had the best concert of my life last night. And I am surrounded by this university choir that can we just pause and think like, okay,
Never did I ever think I would work at the Savannah College of Art and Design. Y'all, I am not crafty enough for that. I can't even draw a straight line. But God knew the art students are my people. I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, they're so my people. I never went to private school in my whole life, and here I am at this beautiful private performing academic fine art school, and I'm surrounded by my people. Now, my people didn't just show up, and I think this is the other message I want you to get. So message one foot in front of the other, trust the process. But message two, if you can't find your people, create the space for your people. Now, I'm super thankful and insanely lucky that last fall, as you heard in some of these bonus episodes, my dean came and said, hey, we have a bunch of singers that need a place to sing. Can you do something with it? And my dean trusted me to make a non-audition on a choir. Y'all come sing choir. And at the time, no one understood what that meant because, again, performing arts is really, really prevalent in the world of musical theater and acting for the camera and acting on stage at my school. But a big old choir, there's not a lot of experience with that. And so when I said, no, I don't need to audition them and anybody can sing in any major, there was a lot of question. And so some of those growing pains were hard. Like there were some really tough moments this quarter where we were trying to figure out where we fit in the lineup of our university. But you know what? It thrived because of the community and because we trusted each other in that space to sing authentically and safely. And the concert last night, y'all, I wish every single one of you could have been there. I wish you could have seen the glowing faces as some of these students had their first performance ever. I want you to know that no matter where you are right now, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And you're planting seeds for whatever is to come next. And you have to trust that process. And then the last little tidbit, because I don't want to forget this feeling. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Oh, now don't let me Disney princess you into thinking that everything is easy peasy, hunky-dory, sunshine and sparkles. I mean, I do have on sparkles today because I love sparkles and sparkles as a strategy. But every day is not going to be sunshine, rainbows, and sparkles. There are days that are work and it still feels like work. And there's moments that are challenging and it still feels like a challenge. But it's the showing up every day knowing that you're here for a bigger purpose than just doing the work. And if you don't feel in your heart of hearts that you are in the space where you're supposed to be to get that purpose, keep stepping and keep trusting. They made this job for me. Jay Jaskey found me living in Savannah, working someplace else, and was like, oh, you do all these things? Hold, please. And 6 months later was like, I made a job just for you. And it fits like a glove. Now, sometimes the glove gets a little hard to wear all day, but that's life and that's a job. And in the end, we've built this community where I feel like I belong. And I'm so thankful that every one of the singers in the university choir can feel seen and heard and a place where their voice can grow and thrive and they have their people and their community. And dear Emmy, circa 2010, 15 years from now, you're going to be really happy. And there's a lifetime ahead. All right, I'm going to go teach the last day. Thank you so much for listening to this. I hope it inspires you, and I hope you know whatever you're doing, you're taking a step in the direction you need to go. I'm going to go teach the last day of classes in the 2024-2025 school year. I love these students so much. It is a sunshiny day. Hope you have a good one.
All right. I hope that was a little bit helpful. I hope you don't mind that I got a little sappy there, but I just never want to forget this feeling. So whether you are in the middle of planting your dots that are leading to your dreams, or whether you are in the middle of your dream, or whatever it is, be present in the experience that you're having right now. But let's get back to the topic of today. This is our update on all things choir, this choir that we started in January and where it is 6 months later. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So I want to start by a little bit of why start the ensemble, and then we'll dive in to clips from actual choir members. Keep in mind, sometimes they are going to talk about me personally, but please remember that we, the directors, we're interchangeable. It has to be your heart for community and your needs, and what you need is different from what someone else needs. So just keep in mind, you as the director, you're building your community. That's what choir is. It's community. And so as you listen through this episode, be thinking, what makes your community, and how can you infuse that into your ensembles? So let's kick off our choir motivational podcast all about community stuff. Thank you for listening. I'm just so glad you're here. All right, let's start from the beginning. What does it mean to build a choir or to build an ensemble? I think there's a few questions you need to ask yourself before you either add an ensemble to your lineup, build an ensemble in your community, or take on an ensemble. I think the first thing you need to ask is there a need? Are there people to fill your ensemble? 2, is there an audience? And 3, what will your purpose be? And we answered these questions in the bonus episode that started in January, right before the choir had its first ever rehearsal. Sorry that I talked so fast in that episode, but I just get so excited. So, put it on the slow down mode if you're listening on a podcast platform. Anyway. So are there people, is there an audience, and what will your purpose be? For university choir, we had an influx of people that auditioned ensembles at our university, so we knew there were people that were hungry to sing. An audience, we know that we are at an arts school and that people really love music. We also have a really art heavy community, and that there's a lot of cross collaboration in the world of music and arts. And then 3, our purpose was to create a space where people could sing and express themselves, but also develop their vocal technique. I'm at a place where there isn't enough space for every student who wants it to have voice lessons. And so I worked hand in hand with our incredible head of vocal instruction. Liz Gray is one of the most outstanding vocal pedagogues on the face of the planet. And Liz worked hand in hand developing warm-ups that were both aligned with the music we were using in university choir, but were also developing the vocal skills. Liz also came into rehearsal a couple times to make sure that we were expanding and growing. And I think one of my favorite moments was after the concert this spring quarter, and Liz was able to say, oh my goodness, their voices have grown and they sound so healthy. So really do invest in your community. So that's how university choir got started. We had people in need of a space to sing. We had plenty of audience members, and we knew that we needed a place where people could be seen, heard, and develop their vocal technique. So as we were moving through, the winter quarter was all about just what is this ensemble? We changed our name in the winter quarter. We weren't originally called University Choir, but thanks to help from our associate chair, we were able to come up with a name that better fit what we were. We were originally something called, I think we were like SCAD Sings or something more nebulous. And by using University Choir, we were able to be something that was easily recognizable. We were for the whole university, no auditions required. You did not have to be an acting major. You didn't have to be a performing arts major. You could be any major and join our ensemble. That was a big piece of the puzzle in winter quarter. Like, how do we talk about ourselves and be okay with throwing paint on the wall and then changing colors? I think that's what we did, and it really did help as we moved forward to the spring quarter. Spring quarter was all about the community. We had already established the space and the need in winter quarter, and if I could summarize the spring quarter in one thought, it would be community. There was something that just clicked in the spring quarter. I do want to give a lot of credit. We had some staff support. Mary Kramer is the scheduler, the head scheduler here at SCAD. That means, y'all, craziest job, knows where all the classes go in all the different buildings and make sure that there's spaces. And seems like a spreadsheet nightmare to me, but Mary's really good at this job. Mary heard our first concert and really felt drawn to our community, and the love of Mary coming in and making sure that this room of non-audition, university-wide singers felt seen. And we kind of adopted this logo, you are seen, kind of became our catchphrase. And with a lot of help from Mary, we had these awesome experiences where people who had never sang a solo before got to sing a solo in rehearsal and experience those nerves, but also that support of the family, and lots of fun with stickers. Y'all, stickers are so much fun in a big group, especially when they are personality driven. Thank you, Mary, for those awesome stickers. But then we also just had time for conversation, and learning music that allowed us to unpack thoughts and feelings. And I think the music that we learned was just hard enough to challenge us, but also easy enough that we were experiencing success really quickly. And I think another thing that built community really well this quarter was our section leaders. Shout out to Katie, our soprano section leader, and Maddie, our alto section leader, and Avril, our tenor bass section leader. Those section leaders really did a fabulous job of making sure that the groups had chat groups that they could talk in. They were sharing pictures of solfege assignments and making sure people felt supported and seen when they had to miss rehearsal for different things. Communication was off the charts, y'all. I am obsessed when you can teach a life skill through choir, and one of those life skills is communication. The singers that would need to miss a rehearsal, either because they were on set or working on a project or doing whatever students do at art schools, they were so good at communicating with both me and their section leaders and our stage manager, shout out Gibson. It was just such a team effort. Oh, I have to take a moment and sing the praises of our librarian. Y'all, Emily, our librarian, thinks in structural ways that my brain does not think. And Em would just come in and make our number system library perfection. And I think everyone having their folder and knowing where it went and having a space on this beautiful bookshelf really did make us feel like we had a choir home in the room in which we rehearsed. So anyway, that's a shout out to Em. Find yourself a good librarian, y'all. You don't have to do it by yourself. Anyway, I think it was the team and everyone feeling seen that made this spring just glorious. And it was fun too to watch as we learned and grew together, and everyone grew in different ways and were so supportive of each other. So I am still on cloud nine. I think it's going to take me the whole summer to really unpack what happened. But in a nutshell, I was given the opportunity to create my very own community. And I am so honored and intensely grateful for the people that get to be in that space and support each other, and the feeling of family that has come together because 60 people from across campus felt okay to trust me with their time. So if you're in the choir and you're listening, gosh, I love you to pieces, and I'm so proud of what we created and how we sounded. If you were out there listening and you're thinking, I want to build my own community, do it. Figure out who needs it, who will be in your audience, and what your purpose will be, and then get to work, because it's worth it. And in case you didn't know that, let me share some clips from some of our awesome choir members. This is directly to you from them. I can't wait to hear what they have to say.
Choir for me is a place where I can be as loud as I want, I can make as many mistakes as I need, and a place where I can have all my emotions run through my face and not be told I'm too much.
I want to tell my music teachers that I had before, I believe all knowledge and technique should be built upon a love and interest in music.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm a junior performing arts major, and I've sang in the choir for both quarters now. I've grown up singing in choir my whole life, and I'm so happy that we finally have one. I love being able to use and grow and learn about my voice consistently. And I also really love being in a room full of people who just purely love to sing. Choir for me is kind of like a home. It's something that resonates just so deeply in your soul, and it's something that you can always return to. And when we started choir last quarter, it was almost like being able to rediscover a piece of myself that I didn't really know that I needed, that was missing.
Choir to me is not only opening your vocal cords, but opening up your heart and connecting with the people you're singing with and the people you sing for.
Hi, my name is Maeve, and choir to me means finding my love for singing again and feeling confident in my voice.
So I'm new to the SCAD choir. I joined this quarter, and I've never been in a choir before this, and so I was very nervous, but I joined for two reasons. One was because obviously I love singing, and I really wanted to get better and improve. And the other was because I just wanted a place that I could go and sing every single week. And as much as I love our school, there are not many opportunities for either of those things here, especially for someone of a more beginner skill level. But anyways, I expected to get those things out of the choir when I joined, and I definitely have. I have learned so much, and I feel like I genuinely have gotten so much better in the past 8 weeks, and I have met some amazing people, some of whom I truly believe will be lifelong friends, and I mean, I've loved every second of it. But what I really didn't expect when joining this choir was how much I would love choir. I mean, obviously I knew that I would like it and I would have a good time, but I really did not realize how much I would care about it and how much I would look forward to going every single week to choir. And I don't think it was until the 3rd week that I really came to this realization. When I left choir on the last rehearsal of that week, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait for this weekend to be over so that I can wake up way too early in the morning and go into choir on Monday at 9 a.m. And I feel the need to mention that I am not a morning person, and I have never looked forward to waking up to anything early in the morning, no matter how much I care about it, but I seriously cannot wait to do it every single week because I just love this choir so much. And this is going to sound off topic, and it probably is, but I do feel the need to mention this because I think it's part of the reason I love this choir so much. But when I was a kid, I went to a musical theater summer camp for the first time, and it was 7 days long, and those 7 days completely changed the trajectory of my life. Going to this camp was the first time that I had ever been in a room of like-minded people, I guess. You know, people who are so passionate and hardworking and cared about the same things that I do. And I was just surrounded by so many talented kids who just wanted to come together and to work together and collaborate and create this one amazing thing at the end of the camp, which was a musical, which admittedly, looking back, was not as good as I remember it because we were kids and it was 7 days, but the end result wasn't the point. I mean, it was important to us, but the reason that camp meant so much to me was because of the community involved. And I mean, that was everything to me. And ever since being a part of that camp, I have been searching for that same feeling and experience for the rest of my life. And I had never found it until joining this choir. And Dr. Birch is always talking about how amazing we all are and how we're what make the choir so great. And it's not her, because she's not in the choir, but, you know, we are. And as much as I think it's obviously very true that the people in the choir are part of the reason it's so amazing, and it's part of the reason that I have had such a wonderful time being a part of it, I don't think that Dr. Birch gives herself enough credit. Because I personally believe that no matter how amazing the people are, a group can only ever be as good as the person leading it. And Dr. Birch is the most amazing professor and leader I have ever had in my entire life. Because she cares so much about what she does, and she cares so much about every single person in that room, and she will tell you that, and I have never experienced anything like it before. And most people will go their entire lives without having a teacher or a professor like that. And I think that that is so sad because, I mean, half of us would not have even been in this room if it wasn't for Dr. Birch. And I know that because, I mean, we've talked about it, and I know that because I wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for her. I mean, I wanted to join the choir last quarter, but I didn't feel like I could because I felt like I had no experience and I wasn't supposed to be there and I didn't know enough, and it wasn't until taking her class and having her as a professor that I felt like I really could do that and I could learn and I could be there, and if I messed up or I didn't know that many things, it was okay. And joining this choir was the best decision that I have ever made. And I mean, I will cherish this experience for the rest of my life. And I could talk about this choir and how much it means to me for ages. So I'm going to stop myself before it gets too long because I've already recorded way too long of a message. But I mean, this choir means the world to me. I mean, this is genuinely, I think, the best group I have ever been a part of in my entire life. And I wouldn't trade anything for this in the world.
There you have it. Just a couple little snippets of a few of the singers. And I want you to know that every one of you has singers that feels this way, has students that feel this way. You are doing all the right things. You just have to remember the who, the what, the why, and the community. Build the community and they will come. I am so thankful for this community. We are in our 189th episode, and it is such a passion project. And having these, albeit sometimes one-sided conversations with you, I'm imagining your faces and I'm thinking of you often, and I just appreciate you listening to the podcast. So, in case no one has told you today, you matter. What you're doing, the communities that you're building, the communities that you're pouring yourself out into, the music that you're making, it matters. We all know that choir and band and music in schools and music outside of schools, we know that music changes lives. So no matter what, my friends, we know that music matters. And I'll see you next time on the Music Ed Matters podcast.